Welcome back to Believers Talk with Steve and Joe.
I'm Steve.
I'm Joe. We're doing Combine Edition. So this episode we're going to talk about the Combine a little bit. Not necessarily Bills specific, but just giving some in and outs of the Combine, how the Combine works. The Combine's going to start this Thursday, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. And so we're going to talk to you a little about the Combine, what to expect, maybe some things we look forward to in the Combine. So first, I want to get your opinion. What do you think of the Combine?
I like it. You get to see. I watch a lot of it on TV, so you get to see a lot of the players that you don't know too much about.
Right.
Kind of get to follow them a little more. Kind of underwear Olympics.
Yeah. Right.
So
Exactly.
So you get to see the different drills and stuff that they do and how athletic some players are. Does it translate to the NFL, like playing wise?
Right.
Not so much, but at times you can see some things like that.
Yeah, I think with the Combine, some people read way too much into it, right? Like, I don't mind people saying the Combine's important, but it has to mesh in with the player's career.
Yeah.
Like, you have 4 years and longer, if you go back to high school of film, you can watch on this player or these players. So to break it down to one day, to me, is kind of ridiculous, right? And we'll get into some of the drills that they do, but I hear sports writers say you run a 40-yard dash. Well, you might not be asked for the rest of your career to run a 40-yard dash.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little about the Combine. Yeah, I do think the Combine sometimes overrated, just because you look at one day. Oh, look how fast this guy is, right? And then all of a sudden, instead of a second-round pick, he's like a top 10 pick like last year, right? And stuff like that. And so it does kind of get a little carried away sometimes. But it's fun to watch. You get to see Rich Eisen run in a suit too, so good for him. The NFL Network, so he does that. So some of the drills they run that are probably the most watched drills. Obviously, the 40-yard dash is probably the most watched drill out of all of them.
That's the thing, like the offensive line, defensive line. The 40-yard dash is like nothing.
Right.
If anything, they're looking at the first 10 yards because that's like their power. Like their
right. That's where they're going. Yeah.
But other than that's kind of pointless for them.
Yeah.
The receivers, quarterbacks, it's kind of not that much, but receivers, running backs, tight ends maybe, and your defensive backs. I can see that to see if it.
Yeah.
They have the top speed, but does it translate to that playing style? I guess it's more of an insurance if they think a guy's fast on tape, and then he runs fast at the combine, then it's okay. But.
Yeah, I actually heard somewhere, I forget who said this, but the cornerback position is the most important position for 40 time, which kind of makes sense to me, because they used Anquan Bolden as an example of didn't run a fast 40 time or isn't the fastest wide receiver, but he has hands, so he knows where the ball is going. Well, if you're a corner, you run 4.6 and your wide receiver runs 4.4, it doesn't matter what your ball skills are, you're not going to be there when the ball gets there. So maybe for your corners and your skill positions especially, that's an important thing. You got your bench press, right, which is 225.
Yep.
So basically what you do is you do 225 pounds, and it's just how many reps can you do at 225, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and that's mostly for the defensive linemen, the offensive linemen. That's where you get the bigger guys, pounding out the reps. Some of the running backs, they'll put up 20, 30 reps. Quarterbacks, that doesn't
doesn't matter so much, right? And then you have your cone drills, right, which are like they're set up by position, right? You do different cone drills by position, so you'll see them all run through certain drills with those. So
that's kind of nice because then you get to see how they change direction.
Yeah.
That's more beneficial, I think, to me than watching them run a 40.
Sure.
If you think a guy is fast and he runs a fast 40, that does nothing. Mm-hmm. You watch a guy change direction, whether it be a running back, wide receiver, you see how their hips move, cornerback, stuff like that. So that's more of a football drill, I would say.
And then you got your jumps, right? You got your base jump, long jump, that kind of stuff where they see. And again, I think that's very important, especially your base jump for wide receivers.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you need to go up and get it. Yeah. So I do like that drill. But to be honest, the most important part of the combine for me is the part we don't even get to see.
Yeah.
So at the combine, you have 330 players that get invited to this, or around there, estimated 330. 270 are actually invited prior to bowl games, which I didn't know that until I looked up. Yeah, 270 of them are actually invited before the bowl games. They leave the other 60 for people who didn't declare. Standouts, things like that. So, like Saquon Barkley's a perfect example. He wasn't invited until after their bowl game because he didn't declare until after the bowl game. But yeah, so you have 330 players. You each team gets 15 minutes for each interview, and they can only interview 60 of them.
Okay.
So to me, that's the most important thing, especially when you're talking about in this draft someone like a Baker Mayfield who has character questions, things of that nature. That's when you really get into the important things to me about the combine. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I like the overall being able to meet. The other benefit of the combine for me is when you have 32 NFL teams there, you have everyone.
Right.
Plus all the agents.
Yep.
It kind of starts the transition into the free agencies / trades can be worked out, or you get to kind of figure out what some other teams are going, see who they're interviewing, instead of I interview with 5 or 6 teams. Well, you get to see what quarterback interviews with you or whatever other player, and you can kind of see maybe where they could be going in the draft or something like that. So it gives you a little bit of beneficial intelligence on other teams as far as your team. Us as fans don't get to see that.
Right, we don't get to see that, but we'll hear some names, like you said, and we'll know who the Bills interview. So like everyone's talking about how we really like Josh Rosen, right? Yeah. And that's fine. So we'll probably interview him. So if we don't interview him, then we know it's probably not going to work out, right?
And then they also do get to set up visits after the combine and stuff like that to the facility of the team.
Right, for their pro days and things like that, You mean the players get to
the players get to, each NFL team, I forget the number of it, gets to bring in so many players to their facility, and they get to go over, medical checks with them. They get to talk plays and formations and what they like and what they don't like, stuff like that. So just because they don't interview them at the combine, they could come later too. Yeah. So you always have to watch for that.
Right. And then you have the what's the test? I forget the name. The Wonderlic test, which everyone makes a big deal about. It's not. It's really not. Yeah. You have some really good players, if you look it up, who scored a 6 on the Wonderlic. I think about Frank Gore off the top of my head. He scored a 6. And you have some other really good players. I think the Wonderlic test is more like an IQ test. It's not football-based knowledge, right?
Yeah, I don't think it has really anything to do with football. It's just kind of being able to, I guess they figure it as processing information quickly.
Yeah, because you have to do it in 12 minutes. Yeah. You have a 12-minute timeline, and again, I think there's 50 questions, and it's how fast can you answer all these questions.
And each test is different.
Yeah.
It's not like a set 50 questions.
Right.
They changed all kinds of different questions.
Absolutely.
So one person can have something, the next person be totally different.
Yeah.
Kind of like SATs, stuff
exactly.
like that.
Yeah. Ryan Fitzpatrick is well known for doing the best. He actually got 48 out of 50, and he did it in 9 minutes. So that's the shortest time ever took anyone to do the test. And also, rumors have it, he purposely got the last question wrong, so he didn't get a perfect score. So,
Wonderlic test, it's a coin flip.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter football wise. I don't think so.
No.
It's just another thing to put them through the test. I mean, they do medicals. They have the guys up at 3, 4 in the morning. They're sending them to get medically checked and going over all that stuff. So.
Yeah, and now this, and I was actually thinking this at the when I was looking this stuff up. The Wonderlic test is not the test they use when a player gets a concussion. That's another test that you go through. Because I was thinking, well, that would be a the Wonderlic test. You take that. That's the baseline, and then if you get a concussion, it'd be. But no, they use a different type of test for that. So, which is probably good because I don't know if you can answer 50 questions in the locker room when you get a concussion too quickly.
Now they, I believe each year they do a baseline test with each individual player, and then they have that on record. So whenever they go in for an exam for the concussion, and they do their test, they know their baseline and go from there.
Yeah. So what positions do you think are points of interest for Bills fans out there? What positions do you think they should be watching out for this year?
Well, I would go quarterback.
Quarterback.
Honestly, I mean, I think this is a really good quarterback draft.
Yeah.
Some people say we should trade up. Some people would say we shouldn't. But,
right.
I feel if they have their guy, they should go get
Absolutely.
it and don't wait. But offensive line, defensive line, especially because we need some presence in the defensive tackle area.
Defensive tackle especially, yep.
Linebacker be nice. I'd like to see some corners. I really want to see some corners in the later rounds.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to feel out some of those guys and figure that out.
Depth, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that could be a possibility for us to draft later. Sure. So I kind of want to watch that a little bit. Couple running backs would be Rashad Penny from San Diego State.
Yep.
Trying to think of the other one now. I lost my mind on.
The guy from Georgia that you like?
Sony Michel. I like Sony Michel out of Georgia, but there was another guy I've written down, Kalen Ballage out of Arkansas State, or Arizona State, sorry.
Right.
I like him, so that's a couple of guys like later I'd like to see. I think they'll test well.
Yeah.
They played well in the Senior Bowl, so kind of go from there. But.
Yeah, I think Mason Rudolph is really good at the quarterback. Is really good to look at. He wasn't at the Senior Bowl due to injury.
But he was there. He just didn't play.
Right,
he did the meetings and stuff like that. And that's another nice thing is just because the Bills don't meet with a player at the combine doesn't mean they didn't meet with him before because they could have met with him at the Senior Bowl. Right,
exactly. So I'm interested in him, but yeah, the quarterback's obviously, and the quarterback is. I'm not going to say it's deep, but there are definitely a bulk of quarterbacks there. So if you aren't comfortable with Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Baker Mayfield, or Allen, right?
Josh Allen,
right? Yep. You still have Lamar Jackson, you have Mason Rudolph, you have some other guy, the guy from Richmond, who I always forget his name. Kyle Loretta. So there's a couple guys out there that you can also look at, maybe get a receiver later, especially if we keep Tyrod, which we might do. It would be interesting to see what we do there, but. Yeah, there are other quarterbacks that you want to look at other than the main four that everyone's talking about. I would want definitely look at defensive tackle to see what's out there. Centers, we have a couple of centers that are in this draft. I would want to look at them to see if it's worth bringing them in. We do have Roy, who has been our center before and is at this point probably the guy that would be first on our depth chart to be our center. So it would be interesting to see some of them. And then, cornerback, if we don't get someone either in free agency like Avonte Davis or something of that nature, it'd be interesting to look at. And you also have to remember to look at these positions now because you don't know what's going to happen in free agency. Combine is really the start of everything. The league year starts March 14th, which is just a week and a half after the combine ends. So there'll be a lot of interesting things there. I think as we talked about in previous videos, we kind of agree on what we need to look at. Defensive tackle is a big one for me. I'm not 100% sure we are moving up to get a quarterback, but we'll see. Yeah. If we do move up, we're definitely going to use probably Cordy Glenn to get there.
Yeah, I think so.
So offensive tackle, offensive guard.
I think offensive line is a big what they're going to look at too because. Like I said before, we only have about 3 guys on the roster after this year.
Right.
So it could be something they're looking to get these guys later.
Yeah.
And groom them for a year.
Sure.
And that's kind of what I'm looking to get at because I feel a lot of our starters are going to be back, except for like the holes of where we don't really have anybody that's defensive tackle. So I just feel they're going to kind of go in depth. It might be more defensive in this draft, so I think they're going to be meeting with a lot of defensive players. And I kind of want to look at those a little bit. That way our defense is set, and I think our offense is pretty much set as far as just needing a quarterback and some depth on the offensive line. Maybe some guys that can come in and start, or if we can get some long-term deals done on these guys. But
like you said in the previous video, the offensive tackles after next year, I think a lot of them are gone, like you said here. So we would definitely need some offensive line help. Again, we can look at free agency. I don't think there's too many big names out there in free agency, but I mean, you never know what's going to happen. And if no one impresses you at the combine and you weren't sure about them to begin with, then this is a place where you can really lose them. But as we've seen in the past with the combine, this is a place where a player can really impress, especially someone like Penny, who doesn't come from a big name college, so you might not have been the Bills might not have sent someone out there to see Penny, but if he improves like he did at the Senior Bowl, or if they improve at the Combine, then it's like, oh wait, let me go back and look at that guy's film and see what we have, and then he can really impress you. But we've also seen that work against teams as well.
Yeah.
At the Combine, who's the Cincinnati, right?
John Ross.
Yeah, John
ran
Ross.
the fastest 40, and the buzz on him just went through the roof. Everybody loved him, and got drafted high. Really didn't do much. He was injured a little bit, but nothing there. I mean, we had Marquise Goodwin. He ran a fast 40, and everybody was going crazy about him. Yeah. He played a little better this year in San Fran. He did get paid in the offseason, so people are wondering why we didn't keep him. He got a ton of money in San Fran. That's why he went there.
So, but if you look at like the list of top 10 40 times, I think third or fourth down is Chris Johnson, running back from Tennessee.
Yeah, I believe he's number 2 now. He lost it last year to John Ross.
But other than him, you look because you got Darius Hayward-Bay.
Yeah.
He got drafted in the first round by Oakland.
Yeah.
And he's definitely not been a first round pick.
He's in Pittsburgh now as like a special teams guy.
Right.
Plays like a 5th receiver.
Right.
So I mean, I believe he was drafted, I think 5th overall by Oakland, and I think 7th overall was Crabtree to Sanford. Now a lot of it too has to deal with what they want, and Oakland had Al Davis at the time. He was there.
Al Davis loved fast.
Yep, he loved speed. So teach learn.
Yeah, exactly. And and Hayward-Bay hasn't been a bad player, I wouldn't say. Like he's been, like you said, there's a reason there, but they're not a top 5 pick, right? If you look at the list of like top 10 bench press, I don't think I could remember a single person on that list. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at it again. But so the Combine, for some reason, teams think this can, or people tend to think that this can make or break you. Yeah. And it's like, no, you've had a whole college career, a whole football career growing up through grade school. People know where you're pretty much going to be at.
Yeah. So. And I think a lot of it too is fans see this and they get wowed.
Yeah.
And like, this guy's crazy athletic, and they look at it, and then they look at him, and players and coaches and the scouts and all that, they use it more as a check.
Yeah.
Okay, what we saw on film.
Sure.
Is this what we're seeing here?
Right.
If not, why is it different on film, or why is it different here? And then they go from there. But like I say, I think it's more or less the fans get wowed more than some of the talent evaluators. So that could be. It's just a thinking of mine that there is some people that do get fooled, especially talent evaluators.
Absolutely.
They get fooled by seeing it, but most of the time it's kind of a recheck to make sure what they saw.
Yeah.
With them playing the past 2 or 3 years, however long they've scouted this player.
Right.
To check off the boxes and he ran a fast 40. He is running fast. And if something doesn't add up, then they go, okay, well, we really got to dig into this player a little longer. So.
A little bit more. And and those are other important tests that happen at the Combine. You got the medical tests. Yeah. We've seen a few times. I can't think of any names off the top of my head, but where someone would fail a physical or something at the Combine, and then there's a bunch of questions. Or someone went passed the drug test.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, people, they're told all these players are training for this right now.
Yes.
And they know what to expect.
Yes.
And it might not be that they're waking up at 3 o'clock and getting checked and all that stuff now, but they know what they're going to expect when they get there, and they're going to get drug tests. So anybody that gets popped for failing a drug test, it's stupidity.
Yeah.
It's because you're getting tested.
Yeah.
Just get yourself clean to pass. You're going to make millions of dollars if you can make it in the league. So
exactly.
Some of that stuff is more of just trying to see, okay, what player is going to try to do what they want to do, or what player is going to feed into what we ask them to do.
Yeah.
And some of the guys will be knuckleheads, and a few years ago I remember there was a player, I'm trying to think of who their name was, but he was upset about the medical evaluation. He ran late or something like that and got into an argument.
Okay.
Well, that knocks you down the boards because they're putting you in all these situations to figure out. Like,
how you respond.
Exactly. They want to see if you have to sit there and wait an hour to get your medical evaluation.
Yeah.
If you're going to be calm about it,
Yep.
or if you're going to be throwing a fit or something
Right.
like that.
So
they do some stuff on purpose, and you know, you feel bad for the guys because they're under a microscope for 3-4 days, and then they're out. But
I think I think so. I think we're talking about the same guy, but he got kicked out then of the draft, right, or of the combine. I mean, and so he wasn't able to. And that's to me, and I probably talked about this a little bit at the beginning too. It's more of a mental thing. What can you handle? Like necessarily the physical thing. You know, again, we've been able to see your physical traits all this time. Let's see how you handle sitting there for an hour. Let's see how you handle being talked to by all these teams at one time, because that's what happens in the NFL, especially when you're talking like big market teams like New York or something of that nature. All of a sudden the press is all over you. How are you going to handle that?
Yeah, and the thing too is what we're saying is you're seeing all this stuff on TV of them running all these drills. Well, that's at the end. That's their last day.
That's the last day.
So they're going through like 2 or 3 days before this. When they first come in, they have the media, they have their own podium, and they got to answer all the questions. They're meeting with teams. They're doing the medical checks. They're writing up plays with teams. They're talking with their agent.
Doing the Wonderlic test.
A lot of guys bring their own trainers in, so they're still training and getting ready for their drills and all that that they have to do their last day. They're trying to get some sleep. You know, they're woken up at different times. They got to eat. They got to do whatever they have to do in between there. So at the end of the week there, or their so-called week, they're doing all their testing. That's another thing that we're looking at. How did they manage the week, and how are they testing after going through everything?
Yeah, it could be a grind. I mean, but it's nothing like going through a regular season, right? Like going through a 17-week grind of a regular season. So I do look forward to the combine. I'll look into it a little bit, but I think people need to calm down how important it is.
I like it as far as getting to see different players that you might not have seen from before. That's why I always like watching it, and they replay it a couple of times like throughout the day on NFL Network, and it's just nice to get a wide variety of players and be able to say, okay, this guy looks pretty good, or he did this or that, and then you can go and search him, and maybe you like him for the Bills, maybe you don't, but it's a nice way to give the fans some information.
Exactly, and like you said, to be able to look at players that we might not have even heard of up to this point, so it's really good to see. That's our Combine edition of Bills Talk. So leave a comment. Who are you looking forward to see at the Combine? What do you expect? Our next video will actually be during the Combine. So look for that. That will be probably the Saturday of the Combine. Combine starts Thursday, February 27th. So we're looking forward to it. Until then, we'll see you next time.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.